What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm very excited to show you guys a tutorial all about this look. I have a couple of random topics in the midst of it, but really it's all about me showing you guys this look and kind of talking through my application methods. And I have a full basket of mainly old with a splash of new products. So in the event that you kind of want to sit back and just watch all old products, so I'm not really kind of promoting new products, which can always be refreshing, then yeah, I think that's it. And if you want to, of course, see this look, then let's just get to it. Okay guys, so like I said, today I'm very excited. I do have a nice big basket of things. A lot of these are project pan. A handful of these are just different items that I need to test out. I was inspired by a video that I just recently watched from Lauren May Beauty, where she pretty much did this. She showcased products that she needed to test out, get a feel for, products that she forgot if she enjoyed or not, and then of course just older products. So I'm going to be kind of taking a page out of her book and doing pretty much the same thing. I also am going to be showing you guys an eye look from my previous video. A lot of you guys seem interested in it, so I figured I would just go ahead and film it in this video. So I hope it's helpful, and hopefully I can get some pan because they're using some project pan eyeshadows. So with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and start. The first thing I'm going to be using is that One Size Secure the Blur Primer. I still don't really know how I feel about it. I had it in my basket to kind of review, and then like in good conscience, I just couldn't really review this because I really can't decide if this really does anything different from maybe my Milk primer or anything like that. I also need to just try it without a primer and some of these base products that I'm used to, just to see if there really is a difference or not. And maybe it's just that my Milk primer already does it the same thing, so I'm kind of just like not seeing any improvement because it's the exact same thing that I'm already kind of used to seeing. So really just want to get more thoughts on this product in general. I think it definitely does do a decent job, but like I said, I feel like any primer for me personally still fills my pores. They're not so large that they don't get filled with like a basic primer, so I don't know how effective that product is for me. Then I'm just going to go in with kind of my old faithful right now foundation wise, which is my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter. This is in 440, and sometimes I think this is a perfect match for me. Sometimes I think it is a little too dark. I think right now in camera it looks good, but depending on the powder and like the longevity, how long I'm gonna actually wear this, that's really where it gets interesting. Because as you guys know, when this became like a thing, it dried down darker, and I think for me it's not necessarily the dry down, it's when my oils start to go through. It doesn't necessarily break up. I think this is a very good foundation on that, but I feel like my powders deepen up the foundation. So I still enjoy it, don't get me wrong. It's really good coverage. I think it lays on my skin really nicely. Just food for thought when it comes to the shade. Cream bronzer today. I actually do want to put cream bronzer on, and I'm gonna go ahead and reach for my ABH Hazelnut. I have been being really good and I haven't been using this, but this really is a favorite cream bronzer for me, so I wanted to go ahead and reach for it. And I just love the color. It's more of a yellow based brown, so it's still warm, but it's warm in a different way, and I just find that it blends in with my skin beautifully. This is one of those products that kind of really helped to solidify my thought that I am more olive than just like a straight up neutral undertone, because I do enjoy more yellow based products on my skin when I find them, especially lip products. Lip products and this bronzer have been like the avenues that I've really enjoyed yellow based products, other than like just a yellow, because I do love a good yellow. You guys know me when it comes to that. Next, let's do powder, and I'm trying to find it. Where is it? I will work on filming my update for my Graveyard project pan, although I think I kind of concluded that I wasn't going to stress over the update until the actual conclusion, because I think somehow I messed up in when I was supposed to upload for that, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm just taking my sponge and just pressing in the powder in my T-zone. This is the way that I found that I really like lately, just to ensure that that T-zone is nice and set, but also not like super blindingly light, you know what I mean? Then I take a fluffy brush and I just coat a very light coating of the powder on there, and then I just kind of lightly cover up the rest of my foundation and my cream bronzer. And I switched to covering up the cream bronzer area because I found that sometimes the cream bronzer just stuck too much of the powder bronzer. And once again, throughout the day, my oils, man, them oils will change the color of anything, okay? So it was just a mess, and I was just, you know, I'm just trying to learn as I get older. So now I'm taking what's left of my Project Pan bronzer. I'm really trying to get her done. Not because she's a bad product, but just because, you know, I want another product done before my next update, and I'm very close. So if you guys saw that sneak peek, you'll see just how close I am. And that's why I've kind of changed this type of brush that I'm using. It's a smaller brush because I really got to get into those nooks and crannies to really get what's left of the product. So there goes my base. Alrighty. Then off camera, because there's no reason to film it, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my brows. I'm also gonna just go ahead and set my face with my Beauty Bakery. I'm so close to finishing this terrible spray. Cannot wait. And then is there anything else I'm gonna do? Oh, I'll also go ahead and prime my eyes with the Beauty Bakery, with the Glam Light Icing eyeshadow base. I completely forgot that this was in my try it box, so I need to retry this. And then I'm also going to go ahead and put my lip liner on, which is just my Project Pan Sonia Kashuk lip liner. So I'm going to do all of those off camera because they're all boring and like you guys don't need to see that. So I'll be right back right about now. If you're wondering about any of the products that I put on while I was away, just feel free to check down below. I will have them listed, but it's the same routine that I always do. So now I want to go ahead and do the eye look, and then we'll go back to the face. So for the outer V area, I went into my Marvelous Mauves palette from Dose of Colors, and I went into my Project Pan shade, which is Wine Stain, and I took a somewhat fluffy-ish brush, and I'm just gonna kind of pack it on that outer V. Make sure to tap out any creasing that you may get in your primer if you took a little time in between. And I just kind of lightly fluffed around the edges, and also went ahead and put a good base down in this lower lash line area. Okay, so nothing crazy. I did do a little eccentric on that lower lash line, but I will fix that hopefully. And so we're just going to do the exact same thing on my other eye. Okay, so I don't know how in focus all of that was. I looked up and it was focusing on my plant in the background. After that, I went into the shade Rosy, which is the second to lightest shade in the original palette, and it also is kind of warm. And I just took a very fluffy brush and kind of brushed around the outer edge of that shade. Okay, so I'm just gonna take Rosy. I think I was too close before, so I backed up. Sorry if you guys really like the close in-person angle, but my camera was just having the hardest time angling. It still is. It's having the hardest time focusing on me tonight. Anyways, so I took this shade and I was just really blending out that whole area. Of course, outer V. There it goes again. Okay, so I'm just doing the outer V and all of that jazz. And of course, if you're not seeing the blend that you want from that darker shade, just take the brush that you had the darker shade on without any additional product, and it should work. Okay, so since my camera was able to focus or stay focused for that short amount of time, I am just gonna hop over to my other eye, and hopefully in my next step I can keep this focused. But I'm just gonna really work on blending her out and just kind of getting the look that I want. So this is the base of the whole eye look, and I think it came out even better than it did the time before. So really happy that I was able to do this tutorial for you guys. Then I'm gonna go into the ABH Jackie Aina palette, and I am just gonna go into my Project Pan palette, or Project Pan shade, which is Trust Issues. I'm just gonna use the brush that comes in the actual palette, and I find that, I don't know if it's the brush or what, but I find that it doesn't pick up and apply the way I want unless I wet the brush. So I am gonna wet it with my setting spray, and I'm just gonna apply the shadow all over my lid. Once again, make sure that your primer did not crease before you do this step, or you will see it. This shadow is not thick enough to really cover that type of situation. Okay, and then once you feel that you've applied a good layer, I like to just blend with the tip of this brush, just so it's not super stark. And I do take this same shade and I went right into this inner corner with the exact same brush. And this, like I said, came in the palette. So what I'm gonna do is, once again, just do exactly what I did on this eye really quickly. I think I might add one additional step if my camera can work with me. So yeah, let me do this eye really quickly. Alrighty, so what did I do? I just took a liner brush and I am just going to smudge on my top lash line just a little bit of this purple, the same shade that I used in my outer V, and I will smudge it and kind of layer it so it looks like a nice wing, but also, you know, it's not too precise. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and finish up my eye look with mascara and lashes later, but I will do that later. Let's go ahead and keep diving into this cheek area. And I think I figured out my lighting issue, so hopefully that candle does better than the other one. We're gonna go ahead and work with the Dominique Cosmetics Cream Blush again. I believe the last time I tried this blush, I tried it with a sponge, I want to say. So I'm going to try with the brush and we're going to see what happens. Okay, so this is just a random BH Cosmetics brush, and I'm just going to kind of apply this all over the head of this brush. I've never used this brush for blush, so do keep that in mind. But I think the last time I had difficulty really getting this to show up. And it's faint. It is very faint in person, but I believe last time somebody told me to use a brush. That's why I'm going with that first. And what I will say is this definitely did build up in person. Hopefully on camera you guys can see it as well. There definitely is a glow to the area, so I don't think that this dries down, but that's fine. I have a blush that I was gonna just go ahead and put on top of this anyways, because I bought this with the idea that this could go with that powder blush. So that's that. Did I ever tell you guys about the time this morning where I realized I was killing my plant? Oh, random topic, it just came to my head, but literally this morning something was like dripping, or I heard something that sounded like it was dripping. So I went to investigate and I looked at my plant, because that's kind of where the area it sounded like it was dripping. And when I looked at the little tray that I have under my actual plant, it was filled with water. So I was drowning my plant. Kudos there, Blake. Thankfully I noticed, and thankfully I had the like stopper out of both plant potters, which I think I'm gonna now convert it to its like real potter, because otherwise that plant would have been completely overrun, and I don't know what would have happened. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and set that cream blush with my powder blush. This is of course my Project Pan NARS blush, and I'm just gonna lightly pat on top. Like I said, I just really want to set it so it does not get disturbed when I go ahead and put my highlighter on the tops of my cheekbones, because sometimes I found that my highlighter application will actually disturb my blush, which debatably could be my issue because I'm probably putting my highlighter too low. But you know, I like what I like, and we're just gonna put a little bit on the tips of my nose, pat just one more time around, and we're good. So I think overall the application this time was a lot better. I don't think anybody can refute that application was so much better. Then we're gonna head and just use my Melt Cosmetics Genesis highlighter again. I can't remember if I showcased this when I did my Muerte 3 Looks 1 palette, but this is the highlighter. I am once again using this Laura LH brush, and although this is a decent brush, same shape as the Sigma, it does not pick up as much as the Sigma because of the hair type. So do keep that in mind if you get this and you're expecting the same kind of application methods as the Sigma. You're definitely not going to get it. But it's a good highlighter brush, and I think this Genesis highlighter is a good highlighter as well. Another random topic. Are you guys excited for Halloween? Are you guys excited for Hocus Pocus 2? I didn't even know it was coming out until some random brands were doing collaborations, and I was like, what? Hocus Pocus? Hocus Pocus was my ish when I was in like middle school, high school, even in college. I would still watch Hocus Pocus every season because that's when you knew it was Halloween. So let me throw on my lips very quickly, and I think we will have wrapped up this whole video. So lips, we're just gonna go ahead and I'm apply my plushie from Lime Crime. This is in the shade Milk Tea. This again is in my Project Pan, and I tend to reach for this particular shade when I do a more cool tone eye look. Even though I don't know if I would necessarily say the green is cool tone, it just overall kind of works together. And now the blush is super warm. You guys know me. I just be throwing stuff on my face and calling it a day, okay? Then when that has dried down, I'm just gonna top it off with my Tower 28 lip gloss, which is in Chill, and there is a dent in this lip gloss. So, and that's just like organically. I wasn't even project panning that. So I'm gonna do all of that. I'm gonna do my mascara, lashes. I'm just gonna go ahead and reach for my Miamis. I think this style has maybe 2 uses left, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put those on, and then yeah, I think I might, that's it. That's really it. So let me do all of that, and I'll come back to round up this whole kind of tutorial situation. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. Let me see if I can come in right now so you guys can see the full eye look and everything. So this is the eye look. Now you guys can see my cheeks. They're still glowy, not too matted down. The lips, the highlighter. I think that's it. So yeah, honestly, overall, I think the full look came out really, really nicely, and I think all of the items actually performed well. Whether I think there are necessities to pick up or not, I think that'll kind of be still to be determined for a lot of the products. The other ones that you guys have seen me and heard me talk about time and time again, you guys know those are staple products in my collection or just for me. So of course I would recommend those, but I just wanted to kind of use some old, use a splash of new, and create a look that you guys were asking for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and with that said, I will see you guys in my next one. Alrighty guys, bye.